Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm gonna do the next daily reading vlog. We're gonna start it. I've already tried to film this several times and things keep going wrong, or I just talk too much. Anyway, so it is Sunday, August 3rd. So I've already been out of the house. It's almost 9 o'clock now because I've been messing around so much this morning. I did go to the grocery store for a couple items. I came back. I did get a coffee. Happy day. So good. Anyway, so I don't have any big plans for today. If you can hear my dryer going, sorry. I am doing my sheets this morning for the bed, and I want to make sure I do it early so it's not too hot up there when I redo the bed, because Truman is mad at me because I tore apart his bed. Anyway, he sleeps up there a lot. So I am doing that right now, and then I'll do a couple other chores through the day. I have to do my rest of my laundry, and the dishes are now running, and I have to do some floor work. Anyway, but other than that, I don't have anything like I need to go out to do anything. I might not leave the house again. I haven't decided. We'll see. So I did get a book yesterday that I didn't know was in my mailbox until this morning. I thought it was coming Monday because it didn't give me a delivery that it was coming yesterday. So anyway, that is my pre-ordered copy of Pretty Beautiful Things by Emily Rath. This is the first book in the Second Sons series. So this is Why Choose Regency Romance. So again, I love her hockey series, the Jacksonville Rays. So this is a book that was independently published and got picked up. So it is really a pretty copy. And again, I like her writing, so I'm excited to see this Why Choose in Regency times. So I like it. So I think that the reason it's called Second Sons is because all the men are second sons in families that, don't, like, so they don't have the titles their older brothers do. And I think they all go in different directions of different things. I think one's a Duke's younger brother. One came from the West Indies, who is a lieutenant of something. And then another one, I don't know. I'm not sure what the other one is. It doesn't say, just that it irks her. Anyway, I don't know. It looks fun. Anyway, so I do have an audiobook for that I got a while ago. So I could listen to that. So anyway, as I said, I don't know if I'm going to go and do anything. I forgot to vlog when I went to the grocery store. Did not even think about it until I got back into my car and I went, oh, I probably should have done that. Oh, well. Anyway, so as I said, today is going to be a reading day. Laundry, like kind of stuff around the house day. Sundays usually is a calm day for me because I always get the Sundays or, the Sunday blues because I know that Monday's coming. And I have to get up. I have to go to bed early because I'm going to get up and exercise tomorrow, and I'm going to try to get back into my routine. And I have to cook dinner tonight because I'm trying to get back into that routine. So we'll see how it goes. So lunch, I might go out. Sorry, my nose itches. I don't know. So I think I might go out for lunch, but I haven't decided. I was thinking about going around the corner, like not too far from here, and there's a McMinimum's. So like hamburgers and stuff. I could either do that or right next door is a mini mart that has the like fish and chips. So I don't know. Here's what I feel like. We'll see. Right now it's kind of hard to think if I'm going to leave the house again. So, I have plenty of food here if I stay here. Anyway, so let's talk briefly about my reading because every time I feel this, I just blah, 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 blah. So again, I am still continuing my reread of Gunmetal Magic by Alona Andrews. This is book 5.5 in the world of Kate Daniels. So I am enjoying this. It is a second chance romance, but again, the main plot of this is really is the mystery of the shifters got killed at a job site, and Andrea, who is Kate's best friend, is put on assignment to go to figure out what's going on, and she has to interact with her ex Raphael. And again, it's their second chance romance story, but there's a lot of action adventure and stuff going on, and Andrea dealing with a lot of stuff that has been going on in her life and how she deals with it, which she doesn't always deal with it well. I'm really enjoying it so far. Again, I'm a little bit over 100 pages So I still have quite a bit. But this is not my primary audiobook. This is going to be in the background at this point because I am doing a buddy read with Berna at Burnish Bookish Adventures. We are doing Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas. Hold on. My computer's doing weird things. This is the first book in the Wallflowers series. So I'm listening to the audiobook by Rosalind Landor. I think she is too. I'm not liking the audiobook because of it's not doing word for word. So I am fighting that. But so I think I have to read it while listening to it just to see how many changes there are. I don't know. So far they've been little things like some dialogue stuff and a couple of description paragraphs, but nothing too major except that they did not do the prologue, which I think is insane because that is where Annabelle, our main character, meets Simon, the main male character, for the first time. I have no idea why that audiobook does not have that scene. That is so weird. So this is taking place in the 1840s. Annabelle is on the shelf and it's her last hurrah to find a husband. She is very pretty, so people want her as a mistress, but they don't, she has no money. She is broke and she's kind of on the edges of the peerage. So she doesn't have the, nobody wants to marry her because they want money, I guess, or whatever. Anyway, point is that she and a couple other wallflowers decide to make this pact that they're going to try to get them all married. And since she's the oldest and this is her last try, they decide to help her first. So they all go to a house party at the end of the season in end of June, and they are going to try to help her get a husband. And so I'm not sure how this is going to go. It's not my favorite kind of premise where I'm afraid they're going to try to trick somebody, and I don't like the trickery kind of thing. I get why she's desperate. Don't get me wrong. She is very, their family is really desperate for money. They're reaching the end of their limit kind of thing. She's going to have to do something. And so this is it is really her last hurrah to do it in a legitimate way, And, Simon, the main male character, he is from the lower ranks. He came up because he made his own fortune. And so he is there because he is very business oriented and he is, he's the one making them money and stuff. So he also, though, is of the idea of making her his mistress rather than his wife. And so I'm not sure. I think their chemistry is really good, but I'm having trouble with the plot. So we will see. I'm going to do at least the next section and make a decision on this book if I want to continue. If it's good enough, I will continue. If not, I got too many other books to read. But it is a buddy read, so I do want to do as much as I can. So I will at least do the next section today, and we will see how I feel. And then I also might DNF The Diplomatic Lover by Elsie Lee. This is, I didn't even read the tagline before. It says, the delicious story of a delightful girl with an outrageous plan for becoming a woman. And that is so much what this book is. This is following Nani, who works for a diplomat. So she is very in the know of all the political things going on. She works in this office and she goes to reception. So she knows stuff. I think she even knows some languages and stuff. Or knows enough. And she has reached the age of 23 and decided she is now ready to have sex. Let's put it that way. She has been a virgin and she had let somebody know that and they'd told everybody. So she has been fighting off guys all the time, but she had never felt like it. And then suddenly, now she has decided she's ready for this journey, and she pretty much picks an older man that she has known for a few years that is a famous actor, and she knows she thinks he will be kind and, get her through it. And the second chapter is pretty much that scene. And it really, this was published in 1971, so I think it's interesting the differences in contemporary romance from then to now, but it was written well. It had the spice. Anyway, I just don't know if this is a story I want to read. So I'm going to give it another chapter. I know it's one of my mom's books and it's one of her favorites over the years. And again, she read it when it came out. This is a used copy she found later, but she read it when it was new. And she was she was way younger than I am now. if you understand. Because this is published before I was born. So, I mean, not much, but it was still published before I was born. So I just don't think I'm connecting to it. Because again, my contemporary reading, I read contemporaries when I was younger, and then I didn't read them for like 20 years. And just now in the last 2 years, really, yes, the last year and a half, I have really been reading contemporaries, and it's like a new opening for me because I'm finally finding ones that I really enjoy again. But I don't think this is going to be it. So anyway, I will read in one more chapter, and then I will either continue or I will give up. As I said, I'm reading a chapter a day because I'm not. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, so that's it. We're reading. I am still reading the other book from yesterday. That one I will finish up today. I have like 95 pages left, so I'm hoping to finish that this afternoon, and then I will read something physically that I can show you. Because I'm sorry that I didn't get that done before I started vlogging, but as I said, I need to finish the shelf by shelf video, and that's the last book on that, so I want to get that done. So I think that's it. As I said, I don't know if I'm going to go out for lunch or not. As I said, I'm going to do some of my chores around the house, but really it's just going to be laze around, probably read a lot, watch a lot of booktube, because again, everybody's TBR videos are dropping from the last week or so, and my favorite time, I watch those all the time. There's just something about TBR videos that I enjoy the most, because it's like the potential of people getting excited for the potential of what that book can be, and I think that makes me really happy. And I guess that's why when I look at my shelf, that's how I feel. It's like I have so many books I have to read. So that's why we'll see if I do DNF anything today. I'll tell you later. Anyway, so now I'm going to work a little bit on a couple spreadsheets, and then I'm going to work on my book journal. I didn't do that yesterday because I was moving stuff around. But I might show you my book journal just because I haven't done that, and because I don't like my book journal, because this year I bought one that was pre-printed, and I have regretted it ever since I started using it. But I'm going to finish out the year in it because I've already put a lot of stuff into it. And I mean, not a lot. Okay, I'm only using it for like the back pages, which they're just dot grid, or so it was really a waste. Let me just say that. But I'm going to finish it out for this year, and then next year I will create my own again in another dot grid notebook, and do what I want. Anyway, I will check back in with you a little bit, maybe, as I said, after I finish my journal, and we'll go from there. I don't know how today's gonna go. You're being such a good boy. Okay, so here's the journal I bought. I got it from Notebook Therapy. So I like their notebooks, but I would not buy a reading journal from them again, only because I didn't like all the printed stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Like, you could do the bookshelf thing. I did a couple of notes in my goals. I didn't write very much in here. But really, this is just, you could do the bookshelf stuff. There's a lot of stuff about favorite books, which I don't do any of that stuff. There's a few like quotes and review library. Like, I read too many books. And then here is like a whole chunk of these ratings. But again, I don't do this much writing on books. Because I usually do all my stuff on here on YouTube. So I don't need all this stuff. Anyway, so that was kind of a waste. And then there's a few end of year stuff or monthly wrap-ups, like your favorite book. I didn't do any of this stuff. I thought I would. I'm not going to. Reading stats. And then I did try to keep track of the books I bought. But I buy too many books, and I just got tired of writing them all down. Sorry, I buy a lot of books. And then there's library books. I'd fill that up, and and then there's a few bingos, and then this is what I did. So I use the blank pages in the back is pretty much what I've been using. So that's why I'm going to use my own notebook next time. You know, when I have like 4 blank ones that I can use. So anyway, so these are the books read. So I've decided to track them in here with, as I said, I have a picture of the book and then ratings. And then some of these I did rereads. I decided to physically write just reread instead of wasting a star rating thing on here. But at first I didn't know what I was doing. So anyway, so like down here I put rereads. So anyway, so I have it down. I have January here. So this is all January. I read a lot of manga in January when I read the Cardcaptor Sakura series, Clear Card. And then, so here's where February starts. So this is my showing, like here, there's a few 5 stars. There's a 5-star. There's a 5-star. Anyway, so anyway, this is just for my having fun with my little HP sprocket, because I bought it for this reason, so I could make little pictures of all the books that I'm reading. So anyway, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but this is with the sun, but this is all the books. And again, I did lots of rereads this year, so most of the ones that don't have little stars because I've reread them. And another 5-star read. Anyway, so I did a lot of this. And then, as I said, then here's more rereads, more 5-star reads. Not very many of those. And then this is, right here is where I'm at. I just finished, that was the last book I finished in July. So I have August ready, and then I will put any books I finish in August. So again, I have plenty of space, I think, for the rest of the year. I mean, it is quite a few. I have, but it's just fun, and it's easy for me to look back and, you know, look at the books, all the books that I've read. I am at 225 at this point. Now that counts there's a couple of novellas, short stories, and a lot of rereads, and there's the one that got a lot of some manga. So again, I'm having fun. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm doing with that. And then in the back, I'm doing what I've done in years previous, which you guys would have seen if you saw any of my other book journals in the past, is I do a series tracker, and this is the way I do it. So I do it for just what books are out or coming out this year for a series, and then I check off what I'm reading. So like the Jack West Jr. series was the first book I finished this year, was book number 3, which was a book I'd read before. So actually I double X'd it because these ones I've read in the past. This one I read this year, but it was a reread, so I double X'd it. And then I continued the series, so these just have 1 slash marks, and I put a box around the ones that I read this year. So I read all of these, so these are all marked. These ones, most of these I read last year, and so these are only 2 I read this year, you know, like that kind of thing. And then if it's blank, I haven't read it yet. But this book came out, so I have another book to read. You know, this is a series these are the ones that have been published, so I've read 2 of them previously and 1 this year. I've reread this book to continue, and I haven't done that yet. So anyway, so this is just, so far, this is all the series I have touched. I have all these, and all these. So it's just the way I track it physically. I do have like spreadsheets and stuff for all this too, but I love the color for me, and seeing when I complete a series or I catch up on a series like Wayward Children. I just had to read 1, but I put it in here because I'm up to date on that series, and you know, and I like it when I finish it. Now let's see, I don't have any this year, but if I decide to DNF a series, like let's say I've gotten into this series, well, this is not a series, I'm going to DNF, but let's say I decided that this book I've decided to DNF, I will put an X. I don't think I have any this year that I have DNF that I put in this notebook. Oh no, I did. So here it is. I read Mortal Enemies and Monster Lovers, and I read 2 of them this year, 2 in previous years, but the last one I DNF'd, and that's because I hated it. Anyway, so that's kind of how that goes. Anyway, so that is it. This journal was just not for me, and I know that now, and I will just create my own. It is pretty, like, don't get me wrong, but and again, what I've done with it is kind of makes it bulky, but I don't mind. Anyway, so that's kind of it. I just thought I would share that with you. Okay, so it is 11:40, so I just finished the next section of Secrets of a Summer Night. I got to page 148, so we're 11 chapters in. I don't hate it, like, again, and it's not quite to DNF feeling yet. I think it fluctuated through this section. There were good things and bad things. I love the friendship between the 4 girls. It does make me want to know how their stories go. There's hints of stuff that could come up in their books, and so there is good in here. And I still don't like the thought that they haven't done anything yet to, trap anybody. I still hate the idea that that's coming or could come or whatever. And the main male character, I'm liking him a little more, but I'm still, his motives are not great. Like, I'm not sure. Or he doesn't realize how much he does like her or something. I don't know. He likes her, don't get me wrong, but I meant, like, maybe more needs to respect her more is what I keep hoping for. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I guess it's okay so far. So I'm going to continue at least again into tomorrow. We'll see. So I'm going to write my little notes to Berna, but anyway, so I will continue. I'm still not sure about it. Like, it's just not a plot that I'm really into, even though I really like all the women together. I like them all. There was a really funny scene in here where they go out onto the property to be away from everybody else to play a game, and things don't go the way they planned. I just think it's funny. Anyway, that part was funny, but I don't know. Anyway, so I did finish that. So it's 11:40, so I'm going to make some decisions about lunch. I really don't want to leave the house. I think, is it bad that I want to order Chinese food and have it delivered? I think I'm going to do that. I haven't done that in a long time. But I really don't want to cook. I'm going to cook dinner. But I don't want to leave the house. So anyway, I'm going to start the laundry if I don't leave. So, and then I want to finish the book that for the other video, and then I will start something else. I don't know what I feel like reading. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I will check in. Maybe when I make a decision what my next physical book that I want to read is, because I don't know what that is. So, yeah, I think I'm lazy enough. I'm just gonna stay home. Laziness. Anyway, I will check in with you guys later. So, I've ordered Chinese. It's gonna come in about 40 minutes, which is fine. And I bought extra, so I'll have enough for lunch tomorrow. I didn't do that thinking what just happened. So I left my groceries in the car that I bought this morning at 7:30 this morning. It is now 5 minutes to noon. All of them were refrigerator items. So I killed everything that I bought. So $20 some down the drain. And stuff was for lunch. Technically, one of the things was the meat for dinner. So we'll see if my other meat will defrost in time. I don't know if it will. Yeah, that didn't go. So I am not normally somebody who leaves my groceries in the car. I'm actually really stunned that I left that in the car. I never once, even though I made that video or made that first clip and I said I went to the grocery store, I never once realized I never brought the food inside and put that stuff in the refrigerator. And I didn't. I just thought of it as I went upstairs and got the laundry to start that. And on the way down, I realized I didn't remember putting any of my stuff that I bought into the refrigerator. Yeah, that's how my day's gone. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, it's about 7:10. I'm gonna make some dinner. I didn't make dinner tonight. I'm such a liar. The hamburger wasn't defrosted enough. I'll have to make it tomorrow. I'll deal with it tomorrow. So I'm gonna make something somewhere. I don't want to eat what I had for lunch for dinner too. We'll see. Anyway, I'll probably just get something out of the freezer. Anyway, it took me a while after I finished the other book for the other video that you'll see in a week or so, for my shelf by shelf. I did finish that. It was sometime after 3. It took me a while, but the book was really good. So I'm glad I made it through and finished that. Anyway, but then it took me, like, I just dawdled, like I had nothing. I was just watching BookTube and watching other people's TBRs, because again, I love those. And then I tried like 4 books, and I'm like, no, I don't feel like that. No, I don't feel like that. I even gave an audiobook back to the library because I was like, do I want to read it physically or an audiobook? And I listened to the audiobook, and the first thing again I noticed was it's a newer book, but I think it was the audiobook was from when it was independently published. So there were already differences, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this again because I'm already having trouble with the other one that's not exact. I want word for word. Sorry. So again, I tried a couple books and I'm like, well, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. And then finally I decided to try one that I have to read because it was in my TBR for a book that is on my 25 books in 2025. Because again, I am behind and I really want to get through most of them in the next couple months, so that I don't have to force it so much near the end of the year. I'm going to try to do my big push early. So the book that I spun and got, one of them. The other one, I'm going to wait another week or 2 for that one. But this one is The Undermining of Twyla and Frank by Megan Bannon. I did just get book 3, which is The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam. So this is a series that I do want to finish up this year because the 3rd and final book came out a couple weeks ago, or last week. When did I cut that? A couple weeks ago? Yeah. So I got it in July. So anyway, but I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm 50 pages in, so I'm not super far, but I've started it. So this will be my physical read when I get home at night, because it's just easier not to try to read at work, because again, I only have a couple breaks and usually I'm listening to audiobooks already, and it's just easier not to take a physical book because I have a tendency to want to pick it up when I'm at work. So not a good idea. So, but this is a fantasy in a different world, and we're following Twyla and Frank. Again, this is book 2 in the Heart and Mercy series. So Heart and Mercy, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy was the first book, which I read, I think a year and a half ago or 2 years ago when it came out. I did really enjoy that. Again, there's a lot of stuff that happened in this one. This is kind of after that takes place, so I don't want to say too much, but they're, both of them are, I think they're marshals, for this kind of this area that's kind of, again, a lot of stuff happens in the first book, so I'm not going to give it away, but it's like a weird place where there was some battle between old gods and new gods. And so some weird things happen in this area. And so they're there to make sure nothing gets out of there, or if people break into it, that they get them out of there. Anyway, so it's kind of a protected area, like land area. So Twyla and Frank have been working together for 8 years. There have been partners, they've been friends, and they have a lot of history together. So again, they've been working together forever. And on one of their tours, they go in there for several days, work with another pair, and one does morning, one does nights during the route, and one of the other people gets killed. And so now there's a mystery of how it happened and what, and there are some strange prints at the site, and he was covered in glitter. So I have no idea what's going on. It's fantasy. It's got some fun stuff they're funny. It's cool because these guys are both older protagonists. They both are I think they're I don't know if they've given us an exact age. I think they're early 50s. I'm not positive. Either that or late 40s. I think they're early 50s. Anyway, I can't remember now. I really don't remember if they actually gave me a number. But they're both, they've been around, they had lives, and, they both have marriages in their past, and, that went different ways, and they have kids that are mostly grown. So it's an interesting dynamic. It's different than the last book. Anyway, so I am really enjoying this already. As I said, I'm only 50 pages in, so there's a lot to go, but I am looking forward to this being my book. And I got to finally pick something, because it did take me a couple hours to narrow, I kept trying things, and I'm like, I don't know what I feel like. That's the problem with being a mood reader, is sometimes, even though I put a book on my TBR, or I put a book in a stack that I want to read, I will pick it up one day and be like, no, I am not reading that book. And that kind of happened to a couple books. But this one, I think, was a good choice. So I am going to continue with this one. And, if it goes really well, I might pick up the third and final book in the series right after it, or within the next couple weeks. Or maybe I'll pick it up in September. We'll see. This is it. I really like to finish the series this year and get at least one trilogy done. I don't think I've done very well in my series. I've made progress on a lot of series, but I have not. You saw my book journal. I've made a lot of progress on a lot of series. I've started a lot of series, but I'd like to complete a few more because I haven't done very good with that. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up for Sunday. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. I might finish. As I said, I will be working on, as I said, The Undermining of Twyla and Frank at night. But tomorrow I'll do my pages first in this on audiobook. I won't be able to read it with it, so we're just going to hope the differences between the audiobook and the physical aren't too bad. But I think it's about 80 pages I have to do tomorrow for my buddy read, so we will continue on with that. And then when I finish that part, then I will switch back to my reread of Gunmetal Magic for my audiobook. I don't know because I'm doing both books, partial one, and I don't know if I'll finish. But I will hopefully make a good dent in it, so I will get pretty far into it. So that's kind of all I care about. And as I said, then I'll come home tomorrow and read some of The Undermining of Twyla and Frank. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Okay, I'm gonna go eat. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed my book journal that didn't work. It was kind of a fail this year. Next year, as I said, I will probably do the same two things, but I might do some other graphs and things that I usually do, but I didn't do it this year because I tried something different and I didn't like what I did. So anyway, let me know what you think about that, or if you thought it was interesting at least. I don't know. And again, it's another long vlog. I am so not good at short daily vlogs. Oh well. You get which, this is just how it is. Anyway, I will check with you guys tomorrow.